Welcome back to the program. Now, did you know that the fear of public speaking is even greater than the fear of death for some people?
Well, our next guests hope to take some of the edge of this great anxiety with their book, The FAQ on Public Speaking, well, written by public speaking coaches Kelvin Lim and Eric Feng. And the book will also help the Fly and also help from the Fly Entertainment CEO and celebrity Irene Ang.
Of course, she's a celebrity speaker herself. Let's all welcome the three of them to the show. Very good morning to all of you.
Morning.
Morning.
Okay, so we've had this a lot. A lot of people fear standing in front of a big crowd and speaking out. Why do you think we have so much fear that, some people say is worse than the fear of death?
For me, even till today, having been on stage like for thousands of times, each time before I go up, I still get nervous. I think there's the whole idea of we've actually discussed this, the whole idea of forgetting what you need to say, what's important, or fumbling or missing a sentence. So that's why this book is helpful, because we actually came out with a conclusion that so long as you speak from the heart and you have your points right, you want to tell the story and you mean it, it doesn't matter if the audience wouldn't know you missed a line, because only you know which line you missed.
Exactly, they don't know the content.
Yeah, but it is really fearful. I mean, like, for example, for yourself, you may be very comfortable in front of TV because you do this every day, but put you on stage in front of 1,000 women,
that's
a whole different story, right? So I think it takes a lot of practice and a lot of preparation, and what I've realized for myself is the more prepared I am, the less nervous I get. So people think that, oh, this Irene Ang, she no, actually I get nervous all the time.
No, the sense we get is supposed to be spontaneous, but you're saying preparation is the key to everything?
Yes.
Well, preparation can come in many, many forms. 10 years of preparation, 10 minutes on the stage.
Right.
So that's the old Chinese saying. And preparation can take the place of impromptu training, more extra time on the stage, a lot of different scenarios where you just throw yourself in there. So we're always constantly preparing, sometimes in front of the mirror, sometimes in front of the bathroom, but it's all about getting yourself
experience as much as you can.
That's right.
Saying.
But isn't it also partly psychological? I mean, if you prepare your mind mentally, I can do it, it's no sweat. I know I'm the expert of, what I'm about to say, just say it. Isn't that true, Eric?
Well, I think I have a theory, that it's not public speaking that people are afraid of, it's public humiliation.
That's the difference.
It's the conversation that they run in their head, and Asians, we are very, face are very important.
We care about what people think, we're conscious, that's what you're saying.
Exactly, and therefore, I agree with these two of them, and I added that it's about stage time. It's about going out there even though you might fail, so that you can get the experience, you get the reality check of that, hey, I'm not that bad.
So how did you overcome that?
Well, that was how I do it. When I started public speaking when I was 16 years old, and I had no training, I was just pushed on stage in front of 800 students, and I really did a very bad job. On my yearbook, at the end of the page, someone wrote there that I will never forget you as the guy who won a public speaking contest, because I actually won. Yeah, so it started that way. All of us start that way.
Tell me about the most embarrassing moments you've had while you were on this public speaking forum or seminar. I mean, Irene, I can't imagine that you would have one, but
I did.
But isn't it the trick to making a fumble, the recovery?
But when you are young in the field, the recovery takes like 5 minutes. You just stand on stage and go like.
That's true. Oh no.
Yeah, it
it's
takes
there,
forever.
but it's there. I want to say this, but God, what is it? It just couldn't come. And you are prepared, you have memorized your points, you know what's the next point. It just went blank. Because it could be something like, for me, it was someone familiar in all this. And I said, oh, this guy. And then my thought was just thrown away.
Right.
What was I saying just now? So over time, I realized that I could cover it up with humor. And what I do is that if it happens again, which it still happens from time to time, I'll make a joke out of it. It's like that when you're faced with, let's say I'm in a room full of IT engineers. I often behave like that in front of a room full of handsome men. So we use it to. So I say, you guys, you have to give me a bit. Let me refer back to what I was trying to say. So you use humor, and then the audience feel closer to you. They feel that you're human as well.
Right.
So they don't feel that, oh, you know, she's some big star and
Right.
she's perfect or what. They feel human, and then you're human, and they feel that they could connect with you better. I think the whole idea of public speaking is connectivity.
But humor in itself can be tricky. So what can ordinary people or ordinary speakers do? I mean, what are some of the tricks of the trade to make a successful public speech?
I was thinking about the humor part, and I think the worst of it is actually being not able to give a joke properly. And if you give a lame joke, that kind of creates a lot of ineffectiveness.
Exactly. If
Right,
you
yeah.
don't have the brand of humor, then humor is not the way to go. So what do you do then?
Well, I think for me, my experience is slightly different. I crashed, like totally crashed.
Totally crashed.
And that kind of got rid of my fear. Like I was on a national humor speech contest.
Oh dear.
And I burned. And I was like standing there for 5 minutes and I was telling my jokes and everything, and no one laughed.
So what do you do then?
I slunk away.
For me,
There's no lower, you know,
You can't go
there wasn't any lower, so
That's
you
as
might
bad
as
as
well
you
just
get.
admit to
my
it, right?
advice is really, if you are not a good joke teller, you know, really don't. I mean, how do we put it?
You know
don't
what
try
I
to be
think
funny.
is, right? Frankness and honesty, perhaps
Yes.
be yourself
Yes.
might work
Yes.
best, because that's what you know how to do best, right?
Yes.
And here's a tip, you know, for viewers who wants to be funny, but you know but don't have the flair for jokes. My encouragement is to tell imbroglio stories. Imbroglio
What stories?
stories are embarrassing stories.
Ah, okay.
Right? Because they're naturally funny. People are naturally kaypoh. They like to hear what's happening to you. And so things like, take note of things that happen to you, anything interesting that happened to you, entertaining that happened to you, around you, write them down, keep them as a story file, and in future when you deliver a speech, you can use them. And then
Yeah.
add in your
We
point.
all keep a journal
Correct.
of our embarrassing moments. You know, like it's only about 2 years ago that I knew what folders were in the computer. And it was a big joke in my whole office, and I decided to use it. And every time I'm doing an IT, whether it's with IT group of speaking in front of I said, you know, guys, I finally knew what folders
Right.
were. And one of my junior staff actually taught me how to put folders into my computer.
I think
because I'm
that
so
is
illiterate.
a good tactic, because if you're the first one to laugh at yourself, it makes it
Yes.
easier for people to laugh at you,
Exactly.
and that's not embarrassing.
That's exactly what it is actually.
So how do you distill all your 3 experiences into, you know, something that's concise in your little book?
Actually, he's the mastermind.
Yeah, this book started out of a question. You know, it was a casual lunch with my partner Andrew, who created this book with me. He asked me this question. He said, Eric, if you were to hang out with a top-notch speaker for 1 hour, what are some of the questions that you will ask that will make a lot of difference to your speaking growth?
Right.
So I thought, hey, a lot of questions. And so I posted it out on the blog online, and within a week we got about 268 questions, and still ongoing.
What's
So-
the most popular question you've had?
Nervousness. How do I overcome my stage fright? How do I connect? How do I make my audience like me? There's a lot of that kind of questions.
Right.
Yeah. So it was compiled into this book, categorized into 13 chapters, and I invited these 2 experts to join me.
So there's the old adage of imagining your whole crowd naked. Does it work? Does it really work?
Yeah, honestly, I really don't understand the rationale behind
Yeah.
it. I don't know how that can make you feel relaxed.
Me
and-
neither.
It doesn't
distracted,
work
right?
for me because I'd probably be laughing.
Exactly.
and
There is a rationale behind that. It's about making yourself feel better than your audience. So thinking of them as in panties and all, you laugh at them, you make them
Okay.
embarrassed. But that's putting down your audience.
Exactly.
And it doesn't really work.
Okay.
I think all 3 of us agree in one point is that we want to tell it from the heart. And when
Yeah.
you say something, so for example, you meet your best friends and you want to share a joy, like, oh, you know, I met this guy at the mall or something, or at bar. You say it from your heart and you are truly joyful. It comes across
They
as
will share
that.
it
You
with
know,
you.
the worst thing is sometimes when I see some of the very experienced speakers and I just go yawning, and some of the National Achievers Congress, I think they get very complacent. They fall back on techniques and they know I did this joke, but they just keep repeating the jokes, and you get very stale.
Right.
You're just like, oh God, he's just trained. He's trained, he's confident, he's well dressed, but you don't get anything from the fella. As versus someone may be new, but when they tell a story, compelling story, and there is a key point that they want to bring across, and you walk away with that one key point, you feel they are good speakers. So what makes a good speaker is someone who speaks from the heart, and you register from them, you grow from them. You know, like how I learned from Kelvin, and then Eric learned from me in class, and you
So
know, and then he
at the
went
end of the
into
day,
teach
we're running
people.
out of time, sorry. At the end of the day, sincerity works best, yep?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
Okay,
thank you
lots
so
of
much
good
for
tips
joining
right
us this
there.
morning.
Thank you.
If you want to find out more about the book entitled The FAQ Book on Public Speaking, you can always pick it up at the bookstores available.
Oh, that's right. Well, we've come to the end of today's show for Primetime Morning this Tuesday, 29th January. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow with another show.